Balance is something that my whole life I've been told that I need, but now I'm 27 years old and living the exact life that I want to live. I found that it's just not true. I used to think that I had to go out clubbing with friends, drinking on the weekends or eating shit food, but in reality, if you're doing exactly what you want to do, there's no need for balance. When I was 19 years old, for 3 years, I worked as a software engineer, working 9 to 5, super corporate. The only time that I really felt like I lived my life was when I was on the weekends, seeing friends. That's 2 days out of 7 that I was actually living my life. And I've always felt like there's so much more to get out of your life. So when I was 21, I created a tea company. And that gave me the first taste of what it was like to break free of the corporate role. Although my tea business it kind of failed. Like after 3 years, I was like, not really making much money. The main thing that it showed me was, other than sort of the insights that I gained into business, there's 2 different sides of work, because I absolutely loved every single second that I spent building, designing, coming up with different tea flavors and building the products, the website, interacting with affiliates, the social media. I did everything in the business and I just couldn't stop working on it. I was like obsessed with it. And there's so many times I've had people look at me working and spending 12 hours a day on my business. And it's like, oh, you need to learn to relax, you need to take some time off. But my version of work is so different to their version of work. What I call work is something that fills me with joy. It fills me with unbelievable amounts of passion. I wake up every single day, just the first thing I think about is like, what am I going to work on today? The fun things I've got lined up. How am I going to make an impact in the world? But it's funny because when you look at, I was working 9 to 5 and I had like balance, work, going out on the weekends and stuff. Now I work 12-hour days, and if you look from the outside, it looks like I have no balance. It looks like all I do is work, and I couldn't be happier. Now, I know what you're thinking. 12 hours of work is obsessive, it's unhealthy, but here's the truth. I honestly couldn't be happier, more fulfilled. Here's my secret. I used to make the mistake of thinking that scrolling on my phone or watching Netflix was a great downtime and a way to relax. But it just makes me feel more sluggish and less likely to get back into the work. So this is how I actually achieve balance. In between chunks of deep work or meetings, I take something I like to call nature snacks. This usually means getting outside, going on a run, or maybe a 30-minute body workout in nature. It's my favourite way to break up the day, and getting into this habit supercharges my work, giving me a second win once I get back. I've realised that connecting to nature in between work does so much more than just fresh air. I'm able to completely reset my nervous system. This is especially important after any potential stressful things I've had to deal with in the company. This is what my version of balance looks like. So for lunch today I'm going to be making, we've got raw steak, some rabbit liver, carrot and parmesan, and then I just top it off with a little bit of olive oil. If I have raw liver, it's one of those things that's like instantly just like I feel so clear after. So keeping the food raw feels so much better on the stomach, but also much better for bioavailability. And the raw cheese is the same thing. It's got a lot of enzymes in it, probiotics, fermented. This cheese specifically is 30 months old. So what I love about getting Parmesan from Italy is they're all fermented for like 30 months and it's full of healthy probiotics for the gut. I think a lot of people's first introduction to raw meat is generally in like a restaurant or something, especially here in Florence, in this region. All the restaurants serve tartare, carpaccio. It's kind of similar, so I'm going to do my own sort of like homemade version of that. Easy. Some people might be looking at that and thinking it's disgusting. Some people might say it looks quite nice. The reason I think balance is a lie when it comes to food is because when people say, oh, you should have a balanced diet, or why don't you just enjoy yourself, is they're not talking about having nice, healthy food. They're talking about letting yourself go a little bit, maybe kind of lowering your standards to what they're eating. I don't necessarily think there's such thing as bad food or actual junk food. I think it's the ingredients that go into it, so it's always about what you put into your food, artificial ingredient. If someone tells you to have a burger, there's 2 different ways you could go. You can make your own burger, you can control all the ingredients that you put in it, or you just go down to McDonald's and grab whatever they're giving you there and it's full of additives, flavors, anything to make it addictive, tastes really good. I don't actually restrict myself. If I want ice cream or I want panna cotta or I want chocolate, I'll just make it myself. And that's why I think the overarching rule when it comes to the foods that we eat should be just making it yourself, controlling the ingredients, knowing what goes into it, and cutting out all that addictive, artificial crap. So I do work long hours, but at this time of the day, every single day, I try and make time for one thing, and that is to watch this beautiful sunset. Look at this. The rolling hills of Tuscany This place is so beautiful, it just looks like a painting, and just absolutely love coming outside. And this also helps set circadian rhythm, so I found that by doing this, sleep has just massively improved. I just feel good as well. Grounded, barefoot. Going a little bit more into the business style and talking more about behind the scenes of what I do, other than like personal brand content, Instagram and stuff. So more into the business side, more into the how I got to where I am and that kind of thing, and then documenting the journey, and so much more to come, so stay tuned.